Brands are taking advantage of creators.
Influencer, I want to get PR. I want to get free stuff. No, you do not. This is the 1099 that I got in the mail yesterday. You know what this says? $63,000. Spoiler, I did not make $63,000 from this collaboration. As an influencer, gifts and PR can be reported as compensation by the company to the IRS.
Probably shouldn't even post this video, but somebody has to share the truth because I'm so over brands taking advantage of creators, especially small creators.
I quit making TikTok videos for the last 3 weeks. That's because I realized the TikTok Creators Fund program is a scam. If you don't know,
there's a question that episode 1 of this series opened but didn't fully answer. We spoke about the return, the recalibration, the creators who quietly stepped back from a life that stopped working. But we didn't ask the harder question: how did that trap get built in the first place? Because the instability of influencer income, a lot of people understand that by now. What almost nobody talks about is the architecture underneath it. Who designed it, who it actually serves, and why the people most exposed to the risk were the last ones to know. And that's what today is about. Hello everyone, my name is Amanda and this is Amanda Spice, where we get to dig beyond the headlines and seek to learn something from them. That being said, I would like to take a quick moment to say thank you to each and every one of you who subscribed. The last time I came, I hadn't reached 2,000 subscribers, but today we are sitting at 2,200. Thank you so much for joining the family. And if you might, be forgetting to hit that subscribe button, let me give you a moment right now. Do hit that button and also turn on the notification bell. I post videos every single Saturday. That being said, let's get back into the story. Let's start with something that sounds obvious once you say it out loud, but rarely gets named directly. The aspirational lifestyle you watched, the mansion, the wardrobe, the business class, the day in my life content wasn't evidence of a successful business. In many cases, it was the business. The image wasn't a byproduct of success. It was the mechanism for producing it. And that changes everything about how you read it. Here is what was actually happening behind a significant portion of that content. Rented properties presented as personal residences, not occasionally, routinely. There is an entire industry of content houses and short-term luxury rentals specifically marketed to creators who need premium visual environments for filming. Pay for a day, film a week's worth of content. Present it as your life.
So this was called a content house. Yes, these things actually do exist. I was so happy that I was able to book one right in my neighborhood. If you guys go on peerspace.com, you can check if there's some in your neighborhood as well. I stayed here for a few hours. My biggest takeaway is focus only on about 6 to 7 pieces of content instead of trying to batch 30 like I did. But overall, the experience was really fun and I would definitely do it again.
Surprise! I got a new house! And just look at the stunning decor! Just kidding. I got invited to check out the new Sahara Loft Creative Studio here in Atlanta, and it's literally the most stunning content studio I have ever seen. The aesthetic is everything. Very neutral and minimal with multiple curated spaces for content concepts.
I remember in South Africa, there were some restaurants who started banning content creation because certain female content creators were being caught coming to restaurants with different outfits, and then they would film in those different outfits, buy a coffee, buy some water, and then take 3 or 4 hours changing outfits and taking content to post throughout the week or the month. This actually happened.
I will destroy her. Now I understand why they bounce some women. Some women will go to restaurants that are fine. They'll buy one cocktail. Chapman, 2 hours, take pictures around the restaurant. Take pictures, go to the toilet. You know this now. Don't do like a surprise. You go to the toilet. Stop looking shocked like you know.
I am shocked.
Go to the toilets, they'll carry back, they'll change their clothes, take different pictures.
Before we start ordering anything, full pictures are allowed. Yes, the person is investment is like 20,000 naira. I don't understand. 20,000 naira per person. If you want to take pictures with our phones. Yes.
It's not about 20,000 per person. We are going to order for food and we're going to make pictures.
No, it's not that.
We are not going to order for drink to take. We are going to order.
We are ordering for food and all that.
Order for food. You have to order something like 20,000 naira. We are not going to order for. We are going to spend more than 20,000. We are going to.
Yes, we are spending more than 50,000 naira. Okay, wait. What she saying?
So even leased or loaned vehicles, dealerships have understood for years that a creator with a relevant audience is worth more to them as a walking advertisement than as a regular customer. Cars get loaned in exchange for content. Leases get structured to look like ownership. Gifted wardrobes supplemented with credit. Brand gifting covers the visible surface. What audiences don't see is the debt filling the gaps. The purchase made to maintain an aesthetic that the gifting alone couldn't sustain. And this is not speculation. There are documented widespread practices inside the creator economy. The reason they are not widely discussed is straightforward. Acknowledging them would collapse the business model that depends on audience believing the image is real. And the creators were not necessarily being malicious. Many were caught in a logic that made sense in the short term. To attract brand deals at the level they needed, they had to project the life those brand deals were supposed to fund. The image had to come before the income, which meant the lifestyle was always running ahead of the money and hoping the money would eventually catch up. Now, for some it did, for many it did not.
Chanel is gifting influencers the new Chanel 25, and guys, this is not random, it's 100% strategic. Here is why. I truly believe that Chanel are clutching onto influencers for cultural relevance. With other big fish in the game like Bottega and The Row, shoppers are finding it increasingly difficult to justify the price increase of Chanel bags, especially because the quality has been decreasing. In 2023, the Chanel medium flap skyrocketed in price by 16%. Shoppers now have other alternatives as well besides buying luxury handbags, such as renting them, which can be done from as little as £35 a day. There's also a ton of other mid-range brands that are taking up the scene in luxury and have just about the same quality as Chanel, if not better.
Premier Supercars?
Yeah, but do you have a Ferrari F8?
Yes, we do. Would you like to rent it?
Yeah, can I have it for like a week?
A week? Yeah, no problem. No.
Yeah, but can we just do a deal though?
Yeah, I can work out a deal for you because for a week, you get a big discount.
Yeah, I'll give you like a shout out. So basically, I'm a social media influencer. I have 200 followers on TikTok, and I was thinking that we could do a collaboration.
Okay. So you don't want to pay, you just want to shout us out?
I think this is good for both of us.
Yeah, shout out.
Now, to understand where the money went, you need to understand where it actually came from and what exactly it was intended to do. For roughly a decade, say from 2012 to 2022, brands were in panic mode about digital marketing. Traditional advertisement was losing reach. Television audience were fragmenting. Print was even declining as well, and social media had built audiences that were much younger, more engaged, and harder to reach through any conventional channel. So brands did what large organizations do when they are scared of being left behind. They overspent. Influencer marketing budgets expanded rapidly and with relatively little accountability. Mid-tier creators, people with a few 100,000 followers, were receiving 5-figure deals for a single post. Creators with larger audiences were negotiating 6-figure contracts.
What is your biggest brand deal to date? And are you willing to share like the actual money that
I actually just got my biggest one ever.
Wait, Really? Oh my God, I actually had no idea.
Yeah. I actually, yeah. So I'll give you the dollar amount and then the deliverables, which actually it just like makes it like super insane. $40,000.
Hell yeah.
For 3 reels.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to spill the tea on what some influencers are charging for TikTok videos. So I've got a cosmetics brand called Lamood and I have these beautiful lip combos. But my issue is that the whole website and all of the advertising has basically just been my face, and I've just been really wanting to get other beautiful girls that love makeup in my lip combos that can film really good quality content with good lighting. So I thought I'm going to reach out to a bunch of TikTokers and just see what they would charge for content. So I'm going to read out some quotes that I've had from 5 different people that I've reached out to. I have reached out to about 15 to 20. So let's start with number 5. This person has 151,000 TikTok followers. Average views are from about 4,000 to 150,000 views. And the price I got for this was 250 to 320 Australian for a TikTok video and usage rights for ads. Moving on to number 4, 44,000 TikTok followers. Average views is just from what I've scrolled that I could kind of see them ranging generally through was 3,000 to 20,000 views. This person charges $3,029 Australian for one TikTok video that is only going to be on their TikTok for 30 days, or $8,000 is for usage rights for 1 year to use the video for advertising and for having a TikTok video on their platform as well. Moving to number 3, this person has 92.8 thousand TikTok followers. The average views are from 6,000 to 15,000 views, and they want to charge $4,543. Also, I have been an influencer before. I am aware that it's a lot of time and creation that goes into content creation, so this isn't bagging that out at all. This is more so generally just going through the prices that I was quoted. Moving to number 2, this person has 1.7 million TikTok followers. The average views are from 200,000 to 1.5 million. And the price that I got quoted for this was $13,311.55 Australian for a TikTok video. This I was looking at and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so expensive. But when you think about it, if I was to get about 200 sales of a lip combo, it would probably cover that cost and then hopefully have extras on the top. But you just never know. It's a bit of a gamble if you're going to be paying an influencer that much money. Number 1 is probably the most expensive that I've been quoted so far. So this person has 870,000 TikTok followers. The average views are from 25,000 to 300,000 views. And they want to charge $20,000 to $30,000 US for one TikTok video, which I feel like the person that came in at number 2 would be able to generate more sales having 1.7 million. I am going to be working with some influencers because I want to get other people in my product.
Brand deal at 10,000 followers that paid me $1,300 for 2 videos. At the time, I was so shocked and I knew that I was onto something. I don't think my following ever surpassed 25,000 followers, but that year I also received a $10,000 UGC deal to create 3 videos for a brand that I didn't have to post.
The money moved fast. It required almost no form of business infrastructure to access, and the reporting requirements were quite minimal. What this looked like from the creator's side was just but a gold rush. What it actually was, structurally, was a temporary market correction. Brands were paying a premium because they didn't yet know what the influencer reach was actually worth. As measurement tools improved, as the market matured, and as the supply of creators exploded, that premium collapsed. The income didn't gradually decline. For many creators, it dropped sharply because the brand budgets didn't slow down incrementally. They got cut in rounds. During economic downturns, during internal marketing reorganizations, during shifts in brand strategy. One budget cycle, a creator had reliable annual contracts. The next, those brands had either pivoted to performance-only deals, moved to micro-influencers at a fraction of the cost, or pulled out influencer marketing entirely. The creators who built fixed cost lifestyles around peak income now had a structural mismatch. Their costs were stable, their income, on the other hand, was not. And there was no institutional infrastructure to absorb the gap. No union, no severance, no minimum contract flow, just the sudden absence of money that had always felt like it would keep coming.
Influencer, I want to get PR. I want to get free stuff. No, you do not. This is the 1099 that I got in the mail yesterday. You know what this says? $63,000. Spoiler, I did not make $63,000 from this collaboration. As an influencer, gifts and PR can be reported as compensation by the company to the IRS.
If you're an influencer creator, no matter how big or small, experienced or a beginner, and haven't yet watched Taylor's video, go ahead and save this, watch hers, and then come back to finish this video, because you can in fact get taxed on those gifted partnerships if you're not careful on what you're agreeing to that brands aren't fully disclosing. Let's talk about it. So in Taylor's video, she talks about how she got a 1099 for $63,000 worth of products and services, not monetary compensation that the brand and agency reported they contracted her for. But no, it is not money she received, but now has to pay taxes for. I'm going to preface that I'm not an accountant, so please consult with an accountant for official counsel on this. But I know many of you creators and influencers are dying, eager to partner with brands that you love, and you think, oh, it's just a gift. It's just a way for me to get my foot in the door. No. But something that brands are betting on that you don't know is that the brand can report this to the IRS as income that they paid you, because why? You agreed to provide work in exchange. You created content, you posted for them when you agreed to receive the said gift. It's a way for brands and companies to reduce the money that they have to pay in taxes by claiming products and services as samples or compensation.
Here is the part that rarely gets examined. Influencer businesses at the income level that we're talking about, I mean the 200Ks, the 500Ks, the 750Ks, do not look like businesses from the outside. And most of them were not built like businesses. A creator at that income level typically had production equipment, editing infrastructure, sometimes a small team of contractors, and a personal lifestyle that had scaled alongside the income. What they typically did not have was the financial architecture that a conventional business that size would have. A CFO, formalized expense management, revenue forecasting, reserve funds, or any systematic approach to the fundamental fact that project income is not salary. This isn't a critique of individual creators. It is a description of a structural gap that nobody filled. When you are 24 years old and money is arriving faster than you expected, the natural human response is not to immediately build conservative financial infrastructure, especially when the culture around you, the other creators, the brand events, the aspirational content ecosystem you're embedded in is uniformly signaling that the money will keep coming. That success compounds, that visibility leads to just more visibility. The financial education that might have interrupted that logic, the basic framework for managing irregular income, building reserves, separating business and personal expenses was largely absent from the influencer community. Nobody was teaching it. I mean, recently we have started to see an influx of finance content creators that are actually able to separate their income from their own personal expenditure. They are also able to separate, the money that they generate from their own salaries.
To £41,975. Again, I make these videos to simply demonstrate potentially what you could make as a creator, because when I was first starting out, I had no idea how to price myself or what people could earn. And then when I saw other people making this kind of money, that motivated me to get into my strategy, try and treat my content like a business. It's worth noting that this is not my take-home pay. This is what my business made as revenue. For me personally, I've started paying myself from my company and I roughly have about £3,200 to live off, which is still really good. I think it's important to note that this is not my immediate, okay, I can go and spend all of that money. If you like this level of transparency, then definitely follow for more.
This is years old and I've made over $1 million as a content creator, and I've learned a lot. Making money, managing your money, taxes. I want to teach you everything I've learned from making over $1 million through content creation, so make sure to follow along. Making money is one thing, but making sure you don't go broke is another, especially when the money's not consistent and you're not guaranteed to have this career over the long run. I pay myself a $120,000 salary from my content creation business. I use ADP. I set myself up on payroll. Every month they pull money out of my business bank account, then it hits my personal bank account on a post-tax basis, just like it would from any employer. My post-tax income on that salary is $6,672 every month. The biggest reason why I keep my salary at that number is because I don't want to inflate my lifestyle past that point. It's not even necessarily because what I think I'm doing is risky or it could disappear tomorrow, but more so because the more you spend on a monthly basis, the more you are trapped into needing to earn that amount of money every single month. If your lifestyle costs you $10,000, $15,000 a month, you are stuck on that hamster wheel of needing to earn that amount of money on a post-tax basis every single month to continue to fund your lifestyle. And yes, I love what I do. I have no plans to stop doing what I'm doing, but it is pretty mentally challenging to put yourself out there online. So since I started doing this, I've been focused on building my investment portfolio, now paying down my mortgage, and keeping my lifestyle expenses reasonable so that I have options and never feel stuck. I've learned so much about the business of being a content creator, and I'm sharing all of it, so make sure to follow along.
And the platforms and brands who were writing the checks had no incentive to. Which brings us to the part of the story that is most under-examined. While creators were navigating volatile income and expensive lifestyles, other participants in this economy were doing extremely well. The platforms took a percentage of ad revenue, regardless of whether the creator's business model was sustainable. They collected engagement data from creator content, regardless of whether the creator could afford to keep producing it. They built their own valuations on the back of creator labor. And when creators burned out, dropped out, or went broke, the platform absorbed the loss of exactly nothing. A new creator was always available to fill that slot. The brands paid for reach and performance. When the ROI metrics dropped, they renegotiated or walked away, and their exposure was limited to the contract. The creator's exposure was their entire livelihood. The agencies and management companies who brokered deals took commissions on the upside. They were not contractually exposed to the downside. When a creator's career contracted, the agency moved on to the next client. The manufacturers, cameras, lighting, editing software, the entire production supply chain sold equipment upfront. They were paid before a single video was posted. Whether the investment paid off for the creators was irrelevant to them. In other words, the financial risk in the influencer economy was almost entirely concentrated on the creator. Every other participant had either limited liability, contractual exits, or no exposure to the creator's long-term financial outcome. And the system was designed structurally to keep new creators entering, because every new creator was new content, new engagement, new data, new ad inventory. The platform didn't need every creator to succeed. It needed enough of them to appear successful that the next generation would also try. The aspirational image that audiences consumed was also functionally a recruitment tool. Every person who watched that content and decided to become an influencer was a new node in the network, generating value for the infrastructure, regardless of whether they personally made money.
Quit making TikTok videos for the last 3 weeks. That's because I realized the TikTok Creators Fund Program is a scam. If you don't know, the Creators Fund Program is there to help creators get paid by their views. You get paid in pennies, But what TikTok has been doing is that it's slashing views for creators who are part of the program. I make educational videos about career, college, building generational wealth. One morning I woke up, I had this hunch, and I searched on TikTok to see if other creators were experiencing this. And Lord behold, other people were. And I was so gagged because why the heck would you make such a big deal about this Creators Fund program, get people excited to reach 10K, and then tank their views from there on? The moment I realized that social media is literally controlling my life, meaning I was clocking hours after work, slaving away, making videos for this goddamn platform. They have these stupid programs that is supposed to help people. I just realized I can't do that. That's unhealthy for my mental health. That's unhealthy for me as a person. I was not sleeping well. Genuinely, I am gagged. I have no interest in making videos anymore. It ruined all my spark, all that naive, innocent excitement, because you realize there's just a business for someone, but it was once purpose for me. I'm still trying to figure out how to show up on this app after being deeply disappointed and disheartened. So TikTok, do your job and do a better job.
Now, I want to turn this around because this is where it becomes personal for a lot of people watching. When you consumed aspirational influencer content, the luxury interiors, the brand hauls, the effortless income transparency videos, you were not just watching someone's life, you were being sold a standard, and that standard had real world consequences for real people who had nothing to do with the influencer economy. The implicit logic of aspirational content is this achievable? This is what modern success looks like. Your proximity to this aesthetic is a measure of your own progress. That logic drove concrete behavior. People went into debt for aesthetics they saw modeled online. They measured the adequacy of their own lives against a template that was, in many cases, financially hollow. They made career decisions, what to pursue, what to abandon, based on a vision of independent income that the people modeling it couldn't always sustain themselves. And here is the structural irony that deserves to be named plainly. The audience engagement was what funded the image. Views, follows, clicks, brand deal conversion rates, all of it flowed back into the creator's income, which funded the lifestyle, which produced the content, which attracted the engagement. The audience was financing the illusion of the life they were being sold. That is not a small thing, and it's almost never said directly. So, what do you do with all this information? The answer isn't cynicism. It isn't deciding that nothing online is real, that every creator is performing, or that aspirational content is inherently dishonest. The answer is a more specific kind of literacy. When you see a lifestyle being presented as evidence of a functional business model, ask what the actual structure is. Who is assuming the risk? What happens when income stops? Whether the life you're watching could survive contact with an average month, or whether it requires perpetual peak performance to exist at all. And these questions do not require for you to be suspicious of everyone. They just require for you to read the full picture instead of just the curated one presented to you. Episode 1 asked what happens when influencers decide to step back from that life. This is the answer as to why a lot of them had to. Because after all has been said and done, they bear the entire risk. Not the advertisers, not the platforms, not even their agencies, not even you, the consumers. They hold the entire risk. And any business built with such high risk is bound to fail at a given point in time. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for making it this far. Just a little reminder, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button and do turn on the notification bell. I post a new video every single week. Until my next one, see you.